monsters. You're gonna be like, what the hell is going on? But in a good way. Let me like set the mood of like what to expect over this 3-day challenge. And let me share my screen while also letting people in. Okay, let's see. Can I get a thumbs up if people can see? Cool. Thanks, Sunny. And you know what I just realized when I do that? Ah, okay. I have to look at the other monitor to let people in at the same time. Wow, this is why people have uh someone else helping them. Okay. Also, a case for joining top of the hour. Okay. I'm just gonna admit everyone like I can and then like let's keep going. But it's like whack-a-mole if you could see every time I click it, someone else joins. Okay. So career clarity challenge. Like
Water.
this is what we're here for, and it's gonna be 3 days together. Let's say it's gonna be an awesome week. I'm doing this, and I want to say first off, hi for those of you I haven't met before. Also hello to
Okay,
each
here you go.
other. Oh my
Okay,
God,
water. Oh, water.
someone might not be muted. If just be mindful of your sounds are totally okay, but if they're like background noises that are extra things, I thought you were like jubilantly saying hello, and that might be the case too. Let's get a feel for like the energy in the room. So, how are you showing up today? Like, what's your mood in 2 words? So you can drop it in the chat and 2 words to describe like how you're feeling. Overscheduled and an emoji face. Oh, I got a fired up, rare energy, midday. Yeah, that counts as 2 words. Susanna, nice to see you. 2 words, not productive, creaky. Oh my God, I love that. Creaky, hopeful, hectic and curious, laid off. Yeah, +1 to that. Anxious and curious. Emily, worn out and hectic. Worn out. Okay. So exhausted but hopeful. Just calling out like, here are the things. This is how we're coming in to today to another Zoom call and also showing up on what? On a Tuesday afternoon. Tired but hopeful. So here's what to expect over. I'm going to give you like a lay of the land for the challenge for the 3 days, but also for today of what's going to happen. So I want to say give yourself a chance to show up. And that can mean a bunch of things. And, think about your capacity, but give yourself like that opportunity. Like you signed up, you're on a Zoom call, you're here. And that could mean like reaching out to people on Slack, maybe asking someone if they want to do a coffee chat or responding to their intro and being like, so many of you are doing this already. It's kind of amazing. Um, like, whoa, I really love that project that you're doing, or I hear you about imposter syndrome, and it's actually supposed to be called imposter experience. Like, I'm going through that too. Or, um, like I'm also experiencing burnout and feeling like misalignment with my job and not showing up as myself. So, connecting with others, giving yourself time, maybe that means the space or a time or distraction free, like closing the tabs, the notifications. Like it's 60 minutes. Some of you are coming to like doing your lunch break. Give yourself a chance to be present, really, and work through each daily challenge. So I'll give you a challenge each day to think about, reflect on something action oriented. And the more you put into this, the more you'll get out of it. And so to really hit bring it home, like being vulnerable, like these are the vibes. Being kind, curious for others, curious for yourself, giving yourself space. And then I strongly invite you to be on camera, as it's not really for my sake, but it's for all of you to see each other and to know we're not perfect. We're also human. And uh, I've had people be like, after embryo freezing, I'm about to go to an IVF treatment, so it's top of mind. They're in bed and they take calls, and that's okay. And we can all so relate to moments like that where we're not our shiny selves. So day one, that's today. It's going to be clarity and creative journaling. There's going to be a it's going to be more of a workshop today with prompts, and I'm going to guide you through it. And then tomorrow's going to be more tactical, like designing career breakthroughs with experimentation. Like, how do we design a small scale experiment to test out our reflections from day one? And then day three is one of my favorite days. So, community office hours, which means it's a chance for you to get coached. And also, like, I find it really, really what I've seen is that's really powerful is if you hear someone else being coached, even if they have a different background, it's kind of amazing. You'll be like, oh, they are feeling the same things as me or like going through the same thing. And to hear them be coached or hear their thoughts or to hear you give advice, sometimes it's not advice, but the things it really resonates. And then a heads up that there are VIP coaching hours. There's a couple of you that signed up, and this is like a more intimate space for an extra call, and I'll review things async with you and give you feedback. We have I was going to say a VIP Slack channel, but yeah, channel, one space for that. So DM me if you're interested in that, but I want to put that out there as an option. Also, all the replays, you may make all 3 days. Amazing. You may want to rewatch things. Here's the link. I will upload videos at the end of the day, and they'll all be right there. Oh, actually, one thing that's super important is that this is recorded. It is just internal. So that means anyone that signed up, like there are people who have had meetings or coming late from stand up or, doctor's appointments or something. So the recording is for them, the people who have joined the challenge and who just want to watch it or to rewatch it. So just internally, it's not going to be used for promotion or anything like that. And the Slack, this morning I checked, I think there are 48 people in the Slack. 100 something people signed up, which means a bunch of you. I invite you to come say hi. And more reason to join the Slack is here's like what's going down and what some of the what some of you are all some of you are sharing. Like, I'd love help with understanding what might be next with my career now that I've wandered well off the beaten path. Or I'd love help with figuring out what's next. I bet this, like resonates hard with a lot of people. I'm feeling really burnt out, overwhelmed, and stuck in my current job. And I want to feel energized and excited about what my ne what my next step could be. And you probably saw some of these. These are some of the images that are people have shared or like the cool things that they're doing. So just a shout out like a couple of people of things that I just saw yesterday in looking through the Slack, like Rachel, who's a consultant for nonprofits with a background in fashion design, who designed Park Puff. And you can go check it out and look at the link, which is a portable seatbelt pillow for cancer and surgery patients. And you can also see like the images of Park Puff in the real world using it. And Susanna, I'm happy to share it with you after. And thanks, Katie, for the resource. And then Emily, who's in this chat now, this is her actual home. Like that is a tiki bar that I'm gonna curse, that she fucking built. Like that's so amazing. Please go look at that, ask her questions. Talked about like her favorite cocktail to make in there. It's gorgeous. And then this was from Catherine, a program manager in AI. Oh, Emily, software engineer in Portland, also previously an engineering manager. And then Catherine is program manager in AI who shared this picture from a mentor, which was, I will not be an asshole to myself. And it's like, that is the message that I want to hear and I want to share. So thank you for sharing that. And also, important section here, there's how I can help and like what kind of help I'm looking for. And so keep an eye out on this of things that you could offer and things that you could receive. So I love this call out, whispering that you don't have to be a people manager to be a leader. And I'm looking, or I can help with like book recommendations for people who geek out about making work better, or can help with mindfulness or planning the perfect itinerary for any type of trip, which is, wow, such a superpower. So chock full of like amazing things that people are doing and sharing. I also like to offer prizes. So Goody is you can check it. It's I think it's called ongoody.com. There's like female-owned businesses and people of color, and you can select your gifts so it doesn't end up being something that's you'll never use again. And then there's also, so my group coaching program, I'm also going to offer, I think I'm going to do two prizes for this one with 250 off. And these are going to be for people who do the challenges every day and share it on Slack. So you're going to want to be there. Hope I've made a case for how good the Slack is. Okay. So agenda for today. I don't think I've even told you who I am. So a little small intro of who the heck I am. We're going to set the scene for, okay, clarity and creativity in the career context. What is that about? And get you thinking about that. We're going to journal the meat and potatoes of today, and then I'm going to leave you with a challenge to think about. The goal, this is the goal overall, but I would say for this session in particular, this is more reflective and exploratory. We're going to move into more tactical as we go through the other days, but today is like be helpful and create hope. Saw some of you mentioned like feeling hopeful. So feeling more connected and identifying your own career curiosities. Things, especially if you're feeling stagnant right now and uninspired or like dejected, this is going to be really helpful to get curious about like what those things could be. And I think this photo is so ridiculous and encapsulates me really. One, I did this photo shoot. I was like so intent of like making like I wanted to have a box and have it be like Pandora's box, and I really committed to this idea. But also, I think this is indicative of how I spent a lot of my career of I don't want to look in the box. I just want to do things. I just want to do, or like take whatever opportunity presents itself. I don't really want to take the time and reflect on what I want to do or pursuing those things because that's really scary. What happens if I fail? And I spent so much time just like listening to other people's advice about what they think I should capitalizing on that should do. And so what I primarily do, I do coaching and consulting for tech orgs. And primarily what I do is coaching for senior women in tech who want to feel energized again. And that's through one-on-one coaching, primarily leadership coaching, and through a group called Authentic. And career clarity, I want to say I've taken a lot of paths. So I spent over 10 years as a software engineer and founder. Before that, I was a career changer. I had 20 career pivots. I was a writer in Australia, a scuba diver. I worked on a dumpling food truck. Some of you probably have heard this so many times. Um, that was me, like working on the dumpling truck and working at a scuba dive resort in Australia. Okay, so enough about me. That's kind of a setup of who I am and like part of the facilitation of these 3 days. Let's talk about creativity because this journaling is going to be different than what you've probably experienced. And so when we think of creativity, I'm an English major. I will go back to like the definitions and the close reading of something. So what's the definition of creativity? It's the use of the imagination or original ideas, especially in the production of an artistic work. And then I love this, like at the bottom, ferns are keen to encourage creativity. And I was like, immediately, like, strike that out. That is so rigid. Why are we talking about firms? But here's what I want to stand out to you is creativity, like imagination, and not even the original ideas. I don't believe creativity is built on just originality, I think it's giving ourselves the space to let our minds play and to imagine beyond like what we normally think about. And another way to describe this, perhaps you've heard of this phrase before, is blue sky thinking. So, those of you who have worked in startups and product development, maybe in design thinking, you might have heard this before. This actually, I think this is a really interesting anecdote, is in 1911, the US termed this like blue sky laws to say like something was really ridiculous and had no basis because like, what's it called? Like had no more basis than so many feet of blue sky. Basically being like, this is ridiculous, that has no merit, like we won't entertain it. And then in the 1950s, the advertising world took it over and was like, actually, this is a good thing for innovation. And now it's very much rooted in ways when we want to think about creating new products or in the coaching lens too. And I will explain a little bit more of that. But here's an example. So Patagonia, for example, used, okay, what happens if we take out the limits of like what's possible and what's usual? And what happens if we just say, don't buy this jacket? This is like the result of thinking of what could we do that's a little contrarian, that isn't like what we're supposed to do within the lines, unconventional, you could say. But what the creative framing was like, what would we do if our only goal was protecting the planet? And it was, okay, let's just tell people don't buy this jacket. And a coaching lens, you could think of it as like this. So, and I want you to, because this challenge is rooted in your career, think of this, start thinking of this in the context of your career. So if we had unlimited resources, how would we solve this? If you couldn't fail, if I couldn't fail, what would I try? If no one saw me make a mistake, what would I go for? Or what would I do if I was 2 times more confident? I actually send that as an email to myself, snooze it every 2 weeks, and ask myself that question. So let's shake things up. I feel like I've been talking at you and introing things a bit. First, literally, like we're gonna shake shake ourselves off. We're gonna shake it off. So you could either stand up, we're just gonna do this for a minute. You can do it off camera, like step to the side, or you can do it right in front, but you're gonna like hop and shake, maybe move your arms. Oh, I did not expect to do it on camera day. But just for a second, release the weight from your shoulders, from your wrists. Maybe you could swing a little bit. All right, just a quick reset. You come back whenever it feels good. Give yourself more time. I saw so much movement. That was awesome. And then I want you to move something around, like an object, or even better, move yourself. Last time I did this, I moved myself to the ground. You could do that. Maybe you want like more of a rooted setting, change your position. This is my setup in when I was living in London a couple months ago. It's very much in the corner of the room, and I decided to go sit on the ground by the sofa. So maybe you want to change your position in the room or change what you're looking at. What we're trying to get at is like changing your perspective and like out of the norm. I'll give you a moment to do that. So when you're ready, maybe I want to know when people are situated. I want to catch you off guard. So type ready in the chat when you're like, okay, I'm situated. I have moved myself. Sweet. Okay, we're gonna get to the journaling portion of this. I thought that said gotta go, but I now realize G to G means good to go. Okay, awesome. So I want to really give you the space. Like you signed up for this for a reason, and that's super commendable. You know how many people like sign up for things and don't join, especially online. So again, like close the tabs, silence the notifications, and know that I'll keep track of time and I'll facilitate like the time management and manage like our pace of today. And all you got to do is spend this time reflecting and being a bit playful with these prompts. And know that sometimes you'll feel like you have a lot of time. And so I invite you to go deeper to see if there's anything else that comes up. Actually, sometimes those are like the most juicy parts. And sometimes you'll feel like, oh my God, she's going so fast, there's not enough time. In which case, tell me in the chat and I'll try and get a gauge. But then also know you can watch the replay, you have the prompts, and it's okay. You're not behind. All right. So let's get to it. Okay, that was my note on timing. So you got ahead of time. Also know if you have questions about the prompts, put those in the chat. Usually I have people unmute, but because it's a journaling workshop, I want to make sure it's like not disruptive to people. So I will answer them in the chat as much as I can. So 90-second sprint. You have like your pen, your paper, well, your paper, your pen. And I want you to just write what's in your head. Everything. Like we just want to dump it all. No judgment. You're not going to share this. You're not going to share any of this unless you want to. So 90 seconds. And let's do that now. Okay, now we're going to shift and you're going to scribble. And I mean, you can draw, you can doodle. We're going to do 90 seconds of this. It's another medium. We did the words and now you're going to draw. So 90 seconds of this. Ready, go. Okay. Now I want you to take, so what we're doing is we're just like dumping, it's kind of like the soot of the day and all of our thoughts that are going through our mind, the things that we're carrying with us. And you're going to take it and cross everything off on your paper. Where's my camera? Or you can rip it. There's mine. Something that's like, all right, we're going to release this for right now. Oh, it felt good to tear up. So whatever you want to do. to say goodbye to that for now. And I'm going to move us over to our first journal prompt. Now that we've refreshed and released a little bit, I'm going to take you to, I switched this. I'll be honest with you. I had one that was like, we're going to talk about what are the things that you like in your career. And we will, but it just felt so dry. And I'm sure you've done that exercise before. You've probably read career books, even if you've had it. It's not novel stuff. I wanted to refresh like how we could approach this. And what I've seen helpful is to add like this playful element to it, something that we haven't thought of before. So I want you to think about what kind of monster, don't journal yet. Just think about this. I'm going to walk you through some examples. What kind of monster would your career be? So I'll give you an example. Cookie Monster from Sesame Street. This for me was like the first year of building my business where I was like, oh, I'm going to take every opportunity. I just want to gobble it all up. Really like my health. I worked so many hours because I just wanted to replace my tech salary. I had this goal in mind. I was all about external validation and my health suffered too. I was eating a lot of cookies, literally. Um, that might resonate with you. Another aspect of Cookie Monster could feel like you. Also, feel free to like interact in the chat if something comes up. But think about this for yourself. Maybe it's Casper the ghost, and it's kind of thinking about this. It's melancholy. Like I say this, there's it's humorous, but there's also like part of this that's a bit sad of like, oh, I feel like I've never been able to fully show up as myself at work. Like it's kind of been ghostly, like reminiscent of myself, but like I'm not able to really be there. Or maybe I haven't seen this movie, but I Googled like a monster that like is protective. So you probably know. I think it's Monsters Inc. Let me know. So a monster that protects you, that tries to keep you from things that go that so that monster that keeps you from things um so that when things go wrong, like you're protected or like keeps you away from things that are too risky. So like making big career moves, for example, or like, oh, going to pursue being a novelist. I mean, these are things that sound like really risky. So like, no, 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 I'm gonna like keep you here against my shoulder and like where you're safe. Sully from Monsters Inc. Okay, thanks, Lauren. Or maybe Kitty. So I want you to let's get back in the drawing mode. Draw what kind of monster your career would be. And you can think about this as your whole career. You can think of it as a stage of your career, or if that feels too abstract, think of it as your current or last job. So draw what that monster would look like. And I'll give you like 90 seconds. Let's try that again and see how that's good with timing. Okay. So I wanted to mention you do not need to be artistically inclined. I'm so not. And if you want to, I'd ask, oh my God, I love seeing everybody's faces. I just expanded it a little bit more. Do you want to show your monster on the camera? Mine is, heck is that? Oh, I'm seeing one. I see Marissa's. Hey. Oh, hey, yours looks like Shrek. You're a really good artist. Check out everybody else's. Cool. I see some like giant hands, Victoria. All right, amazing. And we can look at these. Oh, we are going to use words as well. Perfect, Aparna. So that is let's journal. So in thinking about this, now we have what your monster looks like. Describe it in words. What sounds does it make? What is it motivated by? And remember, think of it like through the lens of your career. So what kind of monster would your career be? What is this career monster motivated by? And another one you could think about are like, what are its strengths? What are its weaknesses? What kind of sounds does this career monster make? And so I want you to journal on this and think about it for yourself.
So your monster is good, right?
Hey Liana. Oh, let me pause the music.
Hey.
So it's a good question. I actually thought about how prescriptive do you want to make it, and not necessarily. I think actually people will have a couple bad monsters too. Um, it doesn't need to be good or bad. It would just be like what comes up for you, and then think about like, so present day, what does it look like? So if you have a bad monster, like what are the things that it makes it monstrous, and what is it motivated by?
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yeah, it's a good question. I definitely thought about that too. Okay, I'm gonna have you come back and I'm gonna give you two prompts in a row. Because what I want to give you space for is like, rather than have it feel so disjointed and abrupt, I want you to think about this is going to be one of the longer periods. And when I say longer, I mean I'm going to give you 4 minutes. Um, so I want you to ask your monster, hey, what would you say about my career so far? Like, imagine you sitting next to that monster, this monster. What would you say about my career? What are your thoughts? So take a screenshot of this or maybe write down the prompt because I'm going to give you one more. So I can put in the chat after this, so you don't have to write it down. And then if your monster could change form, like to Liana's point, if you had a bad monster and you could change its form, it became a good monster. Or even if it was a good monster before, if it could change form, what would it become? What would change about it? What would it look like? How would it be? So I'm gonna let's do 4 minutes and really think about this. I'll put the first prompt in the chat and leave this one up. So you can really explore this one. Maybe if you haven't finished the last one, you can come back to that one. Ooh. Okay, how are you all doing? Do you need some more time? You can give me a thumbs up if you need more time. Okay, looks like we're pretty good. A couple more seconds. Oh, okay. Let's do this. So as people are journaling and like finishing up some of theirs, um, I want to hear about people's monsters. Like one or two people. Do you want to let's share like what your monster is like? And you can come off mute.
I don't mind sharing.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Elizabeth.
mine was just so surprising. I'm like, holy crap. So my first one was like a sweet little old grandma who was like would was very sweet and warm and cozy and make you cookies, then also maybe spank you with a spoon, like and yell at you for not fitting in the family and being, disgraceful or just not doing the right things. It's not how our family behaves, kind of thing. So then the flip side that was the like the fun Florida party grandma with like a cocktail and a moo by the pool who's like, live it up, honey. Like this is your only life. Let's do it. Live it up. You're not gonna live forever kind of thing. And I was like, where did they come from? So one of them was like the old like just the old mean grandma, and the other one was like that funny lady
Yeah.
on those dumb cards that's always saying crazy shit. Oh, good stuff. I don't know where it came from, but it was good.
I see like emojis. Rachel, I don't know how you did like all those emoji reactions. That was cool. And I picture like I think that's such a strong visual of like that happy like Florida grandma who's just like sipping the Mai Tais or something. But and then also the spoon. Like I feel like that was pretty strong too. Thank you for sharing that. And is it Elizabeth or Liz? I've noticed I've been alternating.
Either one.
Okay.
It's fine.
Which one do you
I don't
prefer?
care.
You don't care.
Elizabeth is good. That feels normal.
Okay. All right. Let's hear someone else have one. I bet it's gonna be super different from the grandma, which is like super cool. Someone else's monster.
Can go. Um,
Yeah.
I had the pink dragon from Shrek, if you watch that movie. Um, and I didn't, like Elizabeth, see it transition into a different monster. I just saw uh the dragon kind of go from being the feisty, kind of like evil villain in the story, protecting, the princess and not letting her escape the tower,
Mm.
to the dragon who falls in love with the donkey and has kids. And I feel like I'm in that stage. I have two young kids. I've kind of like you know so that was my monster. I don't know where it came from. Just like Elizabeth said, but that was the first thing that popped into my brain.
Isn't that interesting? Oh, thank you for sharing that, Bonnie. And then also, is there anyone who's like, wow, I was surprised, like Elizabeth and Bonnie just said, like, I don't know where that monster came from. I'm just curious, was anyone surprised by their monsters? You can like go like that. See nods. Oh, yeah. Yeses, nods. My dragon turned into goddess. That's interesting. I mean, oftentimes it's like the mind trick. I know, like Liana, you've been in my groups before, so you've heard this. Like sometimes we'll do like prompts like if you were to serve yourself a meal of like what you need support with right now, what would that meal be? Sometimes something abstract, which sounds ridiculous, is like what we need to pull ourselves out of what's right in front of us and like the confines that we have. So my monster had me shook. Okay, Sunny, I hope you share that later. I wish we had time for one more, but okay, let's bid adieu, goodbye to the monsters. Cute but deadly. Okay. There's a richness in this. I was like, we could keep doing monsters, but I wanted to shift it a little bit into like, well, frankly, like our work week. So it's Wednesday and you're working. And this is not like the groan you're working like, ugh. It's the grind. I hate my job. I want you to think about it. So, career context again, like what does your dream Wednesday lunch look like? And some of you may have done this prompt before. I know like some people came to the challenge last year, which is great because I want you to check if your Wednesday lunch has changed. And the reason why Wednesday is it's not a Friday, it's middle of the week. Or probably you are working. And here are some of the prompts. So, where are you? What are you eating? I hope some of you are still like snacking away while we're doing this. What time is it? What do you do right after? And is this the same as last Wednesday? Is there variety in your work week? What does that look like? So, I'm going to give you one more question with this. Same thing about Wednesday lunch, but like, who are you eating with? And I put, for example, 4 other product managers, which sounds like the setup for a joke, but like I really mean like what kind of people are you eating with? Maybe you're like, it's a bunch of different people from my company, or it's with my friends, or whew, it's by myself. And I want you to think about why. So actually, that's the setup of what like we want to do with Wednesday lunch. Let me go back to these prompts because I think this is pretty juicy to begin with. We'll do like 2 minutes on this and then I'll shift you into who are you eating with? Oh, Rachel. I love you. That was so nice of you to just type that up. Oh, a fast typer too.
Actually, I leveraged the computer. I took a screenshot of it and had it
Oh,
identify the text. So I'm glad. I appreciate the props, but it's less effort than it sounded.
it doesn't need to be effort. You're so smart. Chef's kiss. Thank you. Okay, let's do this for 2 minutes. Okay, let's shift into this one. The next prompt of who are you eating with? Hilarious if you say 4 other product managers, which is not a slight on PMs by any means. But who are you eating with and why? Like let's unpack it a little bit of why these people? What's so great about them or their company? And let's do that shorter amount of time, 90 seconds, and go from there.
Yo, yo, yo.
All right. I don't know if that song hurt your ears, but it was like going back and forth on my headphones a bunch. Sorry if it did that to you too. So let's bring this forward. And you can think of it through the context of the monster or Wednesday lunch. I want you to think about, or I just want you to see what comes up in asking yourself this question. What would be fun to do as a small next step? And I mean small as in today, like for 30 minutes, not 6 months, not like making a website and having it take months and months or something that costs a lot of money. You got it, like 30 minutes today. What would be fun to do as a small next step? Okay, we're going to come back. We're almost at the end of our journaling prompts. Actually, I'm going to give you like one more, and then we're going to regroup. We may go over a little time. What we'll do is I'm going to bring us forward to the end of it, so then people know what the challenge is, and then I'll leave a little bit of time for other people to share if people want to stick around and hear that. But I want us to come back to the blue sky thinking that you like so incredibly did, like with the monster prompts. I'm thinking about it. So like back to that blue sky thinking of like, ooh, removing the limits and going back to blue sky, like no clouds, it's open. So in that question, that journal prompt that we just did, what would be fun to do as a small next step? I want you to pick one of these questions to then look at it through this lens. So small next step. If we had unlimited resources, how would we solve this? Or if I couldn't fail, what would I try? And what would I do if I was 2 times more confident? So, your next step, pick one of these questions and see if it would change at all. And let's do like a minute on this. Okay, let's come back together as a group and read through the chat. Like some people are sharing. I love that you're adding these so people kind of get a taste of what other people are thinking. Lauren said, shout out to all the Virgo heavy folks like me for whom the fail question is the blue sky option for them. Joanna, unlimited resources like solve work-life balance and making the money for me to feel financially free. Yeah, freedom is probably like such a big commonality in this group. And Liana, like, I don't have energy for other people, so introverted. I'm probably gonna do another event for like networking for introverts. That's been on my mind lately as a fellow introvert. So stay tuned for that. And we've kind of come together already as a group. Like I feel like this challenge in particular, this group of people feels very connected. Here's what we've done. We've released our imagination and let it play a little bit. Monsters and dream lunches. So far, the dream lunches are like very reasonable. Slice of pizza, Stanford's halibut. Um, Let me check in with you. I wanted to check like how was the timing? You can put it in the chat or you can unmute. I wanted to check on timing. Like, did it feel rushed or like enough time? How'd you feel? Yes, and if you need to leave, thank you for coming, and I'll see you tomorrow. Also share on the Slack. Cool. Let me share this before people hop off. So on the Slack, I want you to share your career monster drawing and 5 people you want to have Wednesday lunch with. And great if you have like 5 names. Think on it. You might need to reflect. And it might also be names of people that are in the Slack. Like you might want to tag them and or DM them and ask them to have lunch with you or have a virtual coffee. But know that there's like over 48 people that you haven't met before that have so much wisdom and experience and are going to be part of your support network. So about that. And then also Day 2 challenge. So we're going to be designing career breakthroughs with experiments. You're going to want to come to this with all the reflection that we did, like with that in mind, like building on that momentum. How do we take that and make something tangible? And also, like, how do we get unstuck in a way where it feels more curious and more fun? So, okay, the timing, that's for those of you who got to leave, like, go forth. We've got this. Share. I'm so excited to see like what people share in the day 1 challenge and feel free to like respond to other people's as well. That's in the day 1 challenge Slack group. And then, whoa, okay. Big share on the chat. Does anyone else want to share like let's hear actually like about another Wednesday lunch or monster. Does anyone else want to share? We have some extra time.
I can go. I think I found it really interesting that like I identify myself as a introvert, as many of us are. We've heard that a
Mhm.
lot in the Slack group as well. But I actually really enjoy having lunch with my friends. And I think I was thinking a lot about my last job, which was pretty stark before because the job before that it was a startup with like only 4 of us, and then we would not get lunch all the time. Or like we'll be doing our own thing, or lunch will just like bring it back into the office and everyone's at their table and like doing their work. But when I'm reflecting of like, oh, what do I want my lunch to be like? I actually enjoy connecting with people, enjoy having lunch. And like one part that I actually specifically wrote is that like we are all very respective of our boundaries. So we do talk about personal life. We don't want to talk about work during lunch. But at the same time, no one is like, oh, I'm going to like your kids' event tomorrow kind of thing. Yeah, so that is something that I didn't realize that I hold a lot of gratitude for, and I'm definitely going to reach out to some of my old coworkers because of this.
Ooh, I love that. And thanks for sharing. Does that resonate with other people? Any responses like hearing that from Sam? Joanna said, I work from home to lunch is me time. I love hanging out from time to time. But I heard Sam was like a strong desire to, wow, like it could be different from my last job where I like my coworkers, but like I want that time where we're like connected and we're sharing about things, but like not too much. Like we're not gonna go hang out for the whole day. Like there's a balance and some boundaries there. But like while we're at work, we're like connecting as humans and they're friends. Right. Neha said, I want to share about this monster that's coming up. My monster is excited to try everything, but afraid to make high risk moves. There's excitement there. Is Neha here? I can't see. Maybe you're off. Oh, you are here. I see. Do you want to say it in your own words?
So yeah, I'm always like excited to try new things when I see something that like looks even the like slightest bit cool or interesting. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. And then
Mm.
I kind of have this long list of things I want to do, but then actually like taking action for those things, if they're like hard or I'd have to risk something, is where monster struggles. So basically, the changed form would be being more confident when taking those risks and like maybe like not saying yes to everything, but maybe keeping some ideas down for the future and learning how to like manage saying yes and no to opportunities.
Hell yeah. I love that. And I can see like some people nodding. Pei, I see you nodding a lot.
Yeah, Sarah, yeah, I do feel that way. Like I feel surprised about my own monster, and also my monster was telling me exactly what I need to hear. Um, like he was saying, like I'm such, too much. Where I am at in my career is like I people please too much. Um, then my monster is Shrek, so he's like doesn't care less about anybody. Although I think he does care about people that uh, are close to him. Um, but my fear was like, I feel like maybe I have failed in some way. And he was like, what's the point? The point of life is falling and failing, getting up and fall again. Just like his adventure trying to rescue the princess. So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it starts with like some people pleasing, but then also like I love that you talk to Shrek and he's like, what's the point? And there was part about like you really value the people that are close to you and like will make time for them. And then Neha, like what I heard that resonates like with what you said. First of all, I think you have a way with words, like the part about like quivering in fear, but I heard parts of like, oh, I'm this monster is like really excited to try new opportunities, but then also wants to be like selective about them. And part of that is saying no. And that's what I heard is like the commonality of like people pleasing and like accepting every opportunity. It's like, okay, what do I want to say yes to? And what are the things like I can be brave and like take those things because it's not just every opportunity. It's like what feels good. Okay. Oh, Archana, it's good to see you again. This looks like a poem. So it's like, what is this?
Yeah,
If
it's kind of a poem.
beautiful.
The prompt just inspired me to write it. I'm happy to just read a few words of it. My
Go for
monster,
it.
yeah, my monster looks like a shape-shifting, camouflaging octopus. It is intelligent, multi-talented. It knows the secrets of the universe and the secrets of the ocean. It is intelligent and magnificent. It can be deadly when provoked. It is motivated by depth. It is always seeking the deepest parts of the ocean. It's
Mm.
an explorer. It tells me that my career has been playing safe on the edges of a small pond or lake. But there is an ocean out there. There are depths to explore, colors to see, magic to witness. If it could shift like my monster does, it would predict storms and turn itself into the still abyss of the ocean. It would turn itself into a sturdy rock so it can brace the waves and currents. If it needs rest, it would turn itself to sand and rest on the shore. When it wants to plunge back into new depths, it turns itself back to the mighty sea creature that it is, wise, serene, godly.
Oh my God, you wrote that today? And like what I gave you like a 3-minute sprint?
Yeah.
That's
It-
gorgeous. Katie just
thank-
said this is so beautiful. Oh, sorry, you were saying.
No, I was just saying thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I'd love if you could put that on the Slack so then we can reread it. And then I feel like there's someone here. There's so many artists in this group. That someone could like illustrate that or put like a visual to it. That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right. I'm gonna close out today's session. In full transparency, I gotta go do an ultrasound for IVF stuff. So I will be on the Slack. Please post there. Also, if you have any questions, like there's a place to ask them. I want to see your monsters, the poems, the crochet. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly, Sunny. Like the octopus crochet knit projects, the watercoloring someone is doing. So I'll see you later today, and then I'll see you tomorrow too. And then I hope you enjoyed this session and see you soon. All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you for coming.